So, welcome to my easy, legendary, solo Lost Sector guide. And to be fair, this only really works in Season of the Splicer because of the mods. So, we've got Breach and Clear, making any grenade launcher ridiculously OP in terms of damage buff against bosses. Probably already all aware of the giant purple glow every now and then. Unstoppable grenade launcher mod is expensive, but it is valuable if you combine it with Breach and Clear. Also, if you combine it with Blast Radius. So multi-kills with grenade launcher or rocket launcher will charge you with light. If you then combine that with Argent Ordnance, while charged with light, readying or firing a rocket launcher grants its increased damage and reload speed. Damaging a combatant with rocket consumes 1 stack of charged light. So basically, you can use a grenade launcher or rocket to charge you with light, and this mod effect stacks with other copies of this, so you can have a couple of these on them and turn any rocket launcher into an absolute boss killer, especially if you've already debuffed them with Breach and Clear, as we'll go through. This is just kind of necessary for the champion side of it, just because there's only so many weapons you can really carry. Personally, I've gone with auto rifle for anti-barrier because gnawing hunger. You can go scout, to be fair, if you want, or in honesty, you can just completely skip the mods if you're going to rely on Argent Ordnance, Breach and Clear, and Blast Radius, which is what I'm actually going to do in the video that I'll show you shortly for the Flawless run. I did not have a... well, I think I had... I will find out during the video, I suppose. I only had one champion mod on there at the time, just didn't bother with the anti-barrier because frankly you don't really need them, but I'll show you that in a minute. So in terms of loadout, I would definitely suggest the Wither Horde, just for the continuous damage that it can do on bosses, especially once they're debuffed with Breach and Clear. Also, just for the sake of the multi-kills, to get you charged with light is fantastic. Gnawing Hunger, anti-barrier, just generally an all-round fairly reliable gun. And I am running Bad Omens for the rocket launcher, mostly because I've got a roll with tracking module and cluster bomb on there, add a bit of boss spec. Combine it with Breach and Clear, pretty much one hits any champion in a Lost Sector for the most part. In terms of mod layout, Breach and Clear. Yeah, I'm only really using the grenade launcher scavenger to help quality of life really in that, but the supercharged mod, you can swap that out with anything you really want. I could actually swap it out for a lot of different things. The only reason I'm not is because I want to keep traction, and if I swap it out, I'm not really using all of the slots, and you don't need to use all the slots on the Masterwork. I'm just being picky. Blast Radius, as I mentioned, to become charged with light by defeating multiple combatants, and definitely a thing that happens with the Wither Horde. So, Unstoppable Grenade Launcher, very expensive mod, but if you just stick to one energy mods for the rest, you can at least complete your loadout on your arms. I've got an anti-barrier auto rifle. Again, as I mentioned, you don't technically need the anti-barrier mod, but just to make life easier if you choose to want it. Argent Ordnance, this is the first one of these that I've got on the Titan, and this, I've only got 2 on the Titan to be fair, but my Titan's light level is quite a bit higher than my Hunter or my Warlock, and I'm just more comfortable using them, so I don't really need the buff as much. But on the Hunter and the Warlock, I think I've got that stacked 3 times, which definitely reflects, which you will see shortly. So yeah, basically, you're using the Wither Horde to charge you with light, and to debuff all champions and bosses. You're using the Bad Omens and Argent Ordnance with the charge of light to basically take out any big bastards. And yeah, I would definitely suggest that you mostly use this loadout on legendary Lost Sectors, when it's unstoppable, as opposed to overload, because overload, generally speaking, means that you need to rely on a slightly different mod. It's a little bit more frustrating to get through, to be fair. But yeah, it's just kind of easier. Anyway, on to the solo flawless version, which I did on my Warlock. Really, mostly just because, well, I needed the leg armor for it, really. So with Lost Sectors, it's usually easier to just do one quick run just on normal version to refresh yourself on how the Lost Sector works, and take it slow. Use the Wither Horde, take out everything, and that Wither Horde will eventually charge you with light. There you go, kicks off. But for this particular Lost Sector, I think I had to switch to the submachine gun, because obviously I was using an overload mod rather than anti-barrier. And you can definitely see how the mod layouts work, because, I mean, you just stun the champion, apply the debuff with Wither Horde, and one-shot grenade launcher, that champion is gone. So that is basically how we're going to play the entire Lost Sector. And you can see how much time I spend on my Warlock that I can't do that jump. But yeah, basically it's the same with all of the Lost Sectors, regardless of which one you're going for. If you go with this season mods, just stick with the Wither Horde and switch back and forth between an Nicholas submachine gun if you need that particular mod, or Gnawing Hunger if you're going to rely on the barrier mod. I mean, personally I don't actually think I needed the mod on... no, I didn't need the mod on this Lost Sector for the grenade launcher, so that actually freed up a lot of space. To be fair, you can play it a little bit less safe, but this is only if you really want the flawless. The Lost Sectors at this point, you can see, you just kind of use distance with a horde. You're good. Just for reference, this loadout does also work on a Master Lost Sector. It's just I didn't really think anyone had time in their day to sit around and watch me slowly, patiently solo flawless a Master Lost Sector. Which, I don't know, seems like a fair shout. So here we are going to see why we don't really need the anti-barrier. With the debuff applied, they're one-shot. So again, I mean, anti-barrier weapons and mods, probably, to be fair, in a Master Lost Sector are a bit more relevant, but honestly, with this season's mod layouts, you don't need to be too concerned about barrier champions for anything really. I mean, Nightfalls, Proving Grounds, it's all the same. With boss rooms especially, you usually just want to pick one spot that you're going to find enemies will come to you on. This Lost Sector is incredible because you've got these bots doing half the work for you. But as you can see, I basically stay at this entrance until the end of the Lost Sector now, because if you want to go flawless, you want to give yourself somewhere to recover and back away to. to be fair, the mod loadout that we've got here, there's the only things that are really necessary are the charge of light from the grenade, the Argent Ordnance, and the breach and clear, so you can easily add in a Warmind cell build to add on to that. I just usually rely more on stat buffs and ammo finding, just quality of life when you're actually in there, but this Warmind build would definitely help in the Lost Sector, absolutely. And another real bonus to this kind of build for Lost Sectors is that it doesn't actually rely on any exotic in particular, so I mean I use Doommarsh on Titans and similar to everything just to buff mobility, but you can pretty much use any exotic. They all work, especially the new ones, they're amazing. God, that was such a dick thing to do. To be fair, you'll notice at no point in this Lost Sector do I actually remember to use my super. I mean, that might just be an indicator of how regularly I use Warlock that I forget to use the super, but yeah, you really only need the weapons. Which is at least reassuring, because you know, you can use whatever subclass you want, and whatever you're comfortable with. And it doesn't rely on using something you're not familiar with, so that's cool. And there we have it. Easiest way to get the newest exotic armors for any of the subclasses, and they are worth getting, to be fair.